Good morning, YouTubers. That's right, it is I, the Big. And dare I say big, and I do mean big. Yes, the Big D. Coming to you with some news and an update on the load and all kinds of good information. But before I get started, have you subscribed to the video? Come on, help a guy out, man. Help a brother out. Subscribe to the video. Help me out, man. I need your help. Like it. If you're a big loser, give it a thumbs down. Hit the bell icon so you don't miss any excitement. For those of you who are new on here, this is the No BS channel. I'm going to tell you the way it is. The good, the bad, the ugly. And today you get to hear a little ugly. That's right. This is going to be an interesting one. But before I get started, a lot of you on there know that my daughter is going to have a baby. And Big D is going to be Grandpa D. That's right, Grandpa D. Well, they've started inducing labor on the daughter. She was admitted to the hospital last night. As soon as I dropped this load here around Birmingham, I'm driving back to Ohio, and we're going to get in our Nissan Armada. And we have 2 dogs, which is why we're doing this. 2 little Jack Russells. And we're driving up to Spokane, Washington to be with the daughter. Now, we can't be there due to the rules at the time for the delivery anyway. Because of the COVID stuff and all that still going on in places, believe it or not. And they're one of them. So we should get there about the time she should be coming home with the grandson. That's right, the grandson. Big D's going to get a grandson, and that's the first, so you can imagine that the wife and I are kind of bouncing off the walls, and yeah, you know how it is. If you're a grandfather, you'll get it. If you're a grandma, you'll get it. But on to today's, that's the good. Now here comes the bad. As you can see, I'm sitting at the gate to go into this plant, and we're technically not allowed to tell you who it is. A lot of you out there is going to know you've been here, but the power's off. Maybe they should have paid the bill. I don't know. But the power's down, so there's no way to check in. Now, I got here last night at about midnight, and I was told this. And this is not making me happy because I want to churn and burn and get home. But I was told they won't be here till 6 p.m. tomorrow night to unload. This is a 9 a.m. delivery. It's 8:40 local. So I'm here. I was here last night too. And we are going to keep an eye on it. Hopefully the power comes on. But, you know, it's a roll of the dice. Now, if this happens where, you know, I can't get unloaded until 6 at night, well, I'm asking for detention. In other words, it's roughly the industry standards, $20 an hour. If they're not going to be here to 6 o'clock, I am not going to waive the 2-hour grace period. In other words, you always give away 2 hours up front, 2 hours at delivery. In other words, if it's an 8 o'clock pickup and you get loaded at 10, well, no detention. If it's 9 a.m. delivery and you get unloaded at 11 a.m., no fade. That's the bad part out here, folks. I think it's stupid. They're giving away 4 hours of our time on each load. Each load. And this is why shorties, we talk about, the little short loads at Paywall can bite you in the butt. Think about it. You run over, you pick it up, say at 8 a.m. They get you loaded at 10. It's a 4-hour drive there. You drove 4 hours. 2 o'clock. They unload you, give yourself about a half hour, 2:30. Well, let's say you have to wait 2 hours. So 6 o'clock, you go in at 6, and they take a half hour unloading, which you don't get paid for because they're in the process of unloading you. So it's 6:30, and you get your paperwork and stuff cleared at around 7 o'clock. Day's over. Day's done. And you made a couple $100 because you took a shorty, and in the end, it bit you in the butt. And this happens. Now, if I can't, if I have to wait till 6 o'clock to get out of here, it's nothing I can do. And sit there and get mad and pound on the wall and scream and yell and life's unfair and whatever. It's not going to change the fact that A, you came in on time, and B, they screwed up. This is common, especially in border towns. I got this load yesterday. Well, the guy next to me was saying the same thing. I didn't stay very long, and he had been there all day, and he was picking up at an hour after me. And I got the load while I was standing there talking to him. But we were talking about that. He goes, I got the load at like 8 a.m. in the morning, and he's picking up 6 o'clock at night. And those bother me, especially in the border towns. And the reason they're upsetting is because 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., you've gotten 10 hours you're going to sit there. 10. While most of these brokers down there don't have any scruples, they're still bidding on other boards, hoping somebody will take it cheaper. Now, not all of them will do that, but a lot of them do. And then all of a sudden, you've sat there until like 4 o'clock. That's right. You get absolutely nothing for this, so you know. And then they cancel the load. All they've done is booked it somewhere else cheaper. So you've been out of service now for, 8 hours? And you end up empty-handed. It's very common on border towns to see this kind of crap happen. Now, I'm not a big proponent of that crap. If I'm going to get loaded, let's go now. It's going to be ready in an hour. The other thing in border towns is you got to get it over the border. You'll whip in there at 8 in the morning. It's still on the bridge and customs. May clear customs 4 hours later. They get it over. I've actually sat at a place one time where it flew into LAX. And it was like a 1 o'clock pickup in the afternoon. And I got it loaded at 6 o'clock the next day. PM. I got paid on that one too. But, it's ridiculous. And the funny thing was, the plane had landed. It was back there. It cleared customs at 2 p.m. the day it was to be picked up. They just didn't want to bring it forward. They were lazy. So, and when I delivered it, the lady where I delivered it was very nice and asked me what happened. And I showed her it was not a very big box. It weighed like 100 pounds, small little crate. I showed her the custom stamp and the date. I said, I'd be calling them because you guys got that priority unload and nonsense because you got cleared customs at 2 p.m. I got loaded over 24 hours later. And she's like, yeah. And she looked at that and she took a picture of that. She goes, I'm going in there and calling them right now. We're not going to pay for this load. I wouldn't. I got paid. I don't, if the transit company that brought it in, it was Air France or somebody, played that game and they paid to have priority unloads, they got screwed. Simple as that. But, if the customer asks me, hey, why'd it take so long? I'll tell them. I'm not taking the blame for that. I sat there the whole time. What can you do? I went back and took a nap. All you can do. So this job can be very frustrating. And this is why it gets to be frustrating. Because A, they're not going to come out and tell me the power's back on. Just so you know. They will sit there, the power will come back on, we will never know it. Which means I got to go up there and check in every so often. Yeah. So, what do? Nothing you can do. This is part of the job. Patience is a virtue out here, folks. You might want to be virtuous and strike it rich. So, these are the things. If you're detained over 2 hours at the pickup, anything after that, you get paid on. If it's 2 hours at the delivery, anything after that, you get paid on. But if they're closed, and they scheduled it to be delivered when they're closed, in other words, they're not receiving, well, then those 2 hours should be waived, and I get paid from 9 o'clock till 6 o'clock. Because we're here, they won't receive it. And if they won't receive it, clock starts running right then. until the other guys can figure it out. So this is Big D saying, I'll keep you up to date, be doing some videos on the trip to Spokane, and some videos of Big D with his becoming Big Grandpa, Big G, I guess Big G, Big Grandpa. And yeah, it's been a pretty good week. After this is unloaded, it should be around 4,300 miles with some extra pay here and there. So, hey, can't argue with it. So I'll keep you all advised. Do appreciate you liking and sharing and watching the videos to the end. It helps the channel. We're working on the safety equipment side. Then we're going to work on the heaters and things of that nature so that you guys can get out here and get out here cheap. So until then, this is Big D saying, let's go make some monies.